Hey YouTubers, Mike Boards with the Mike Boards channel. Thank you for watching. If you're joining us from the previous video where we walked you through the step-by-step process on how to remove all those parts and remove your shift cable, glad to have you. If you have not checked that out, definitely check that out. Down in the description below is a link. Check that out, come right back here, because in this video, step-by-step process on how to install that new shift cable and put everything back together. Let's get started. All right, YouTubers, back at the shift cable, a couple things. In the previous video, I mentioned that we were going to use this, however, we are not. However, this little rubber piece here, if you remember correctly, the other rubber gasket that we took off had a factory cut in it. This one does not, so I grabbed the knife and cut from this portion up. And what I'm going to do is take that off, shift it over, and install it on the new cable, just like that. And now it's time to install the new shift cable. In the previous video, we pulled the old shift cable out from inside the vehicle. We are going to insert the new shift cable by starting it inside the vehicle and feeding it through the firewall and out to the actual transmission. Making progress, got the transmission portion of the shift cable going through that lower hole. Just be careful, you may have to hop up top and grab it from there and continue feeding it through. Back up top, let's see if we can see it down there. There's a better view of it. And again, it goes underneath those hoses and up over the starter. And again, up over the starter, and this little connection tab right here, we will get that here in a little bit. And it's actually going to feed under your actual cruise control module. So just be careful as you twist and turn it throughout the engine. You don't want to harm the shift cable or any additional parts along the way. Making progress. I've got the shift cable in the upright position. I want to compare the old broken part to the new part. And I am going to use this old nut. I'll remove that. And that will secure this portion of the shift cable to the actual transmission lever down below. However, I want to set this aside. And I want to grab this securing plate here. Very important step here. This is how it's going to connect. Come up basically onto the actual shift cable, and this will shift back, and then you will use that securing clip to push in that little groove there and secure that actual shift cable to the plate. And that's what it looks like with the actual securing clip on, and I'm going to muscle that in place and shift it all the way down flush with the actual shift cable. That is what the end product should look like. From here down below, you've got 2 bolt holes that we will align this plate to and secure both the 12mm bolts. At this point, the plate is secured. And very important step, you want to make sure your shift cable connection point is positioned properly, and the threaded bolt will actually feed through down below the little hole, and you will secure that 13mm nut. Before securing the nut, there is a rectangle cutout in this actual lever. You want to align the square portion of the shift cable connection point inside that rectangular hole. Once you do that, secure the nut. The nut is secured. Now it's time to hop inside the vehicle and connect the opposite side of the shift cable. Back inside the vehicle, inspect the area where the shift cable comes through the actual firewall or floor area. Make sure it's not caught up on anything. Make sure it is positioned properly. From here, we are just going to insert it in this little groove here, and this little tab here will actually go on this rod. Again, this has a beveled lip on it to allow this to secure itself, and align it properly and push it into place until it is secure. And once it's secure, we will grab the securing clip and push that down and secure that. Make sure it's flush with the actual shift cable. At this point, the securing clip is flush, and the shift cable connection point here is secured by that bevel lip on that rod. Now let's direct our attention to this rubber gasket that we cut earlier. We are going to loop this around the actual shift cable down below, align it properly. These little prongs here will actually go through these little holes here, and we will align this in place. And YouTubers, be patient with this next step. This is very tedious and kind of annoying. You got to reach up underneath, align that gasket as well as that metal plate, and then you got to realign the holes for the bolts to go into and re-secure those. However, don't tighten them all the way. I've got them inserted and twisted in a little bit. I'm going to leave them loose for now. We're going to hop underneath the vehicle, realign this portion, and secure this. And I'm going to use that same 10mm ratchet style wrench, which is awesome, to secure both of these bolts. Again, that factory cut slit right there, that is going to be in the upright position. This little insert here, we will insert that inside the actual firewall So the slit will be on the top. I got the gasket on, and again, I'm going to insert it in the actual hole and make it flush. I'll grab the metal plate and re-secure that, align the bolts, and secure them. After securing that lower gasket and plate, you can put your tire back on, remove your jack stand, and lower the vehicle from the jack. From here, just want to verify and inspect the connection points. All looks good. This little piece here, you can shift. As I inserted it down below and brought the actual shift cable up and over the starter, it was nowhere to be seen. However, it was way down here. Just carefully pull it up in place. And the last shift cable was not actually touching the starter, so this is good, nor is that. And make sure your shift cable is reinserted and secured in that little clip. From here, let's hop back inside. Back inside, one last inspection prior to securing these bolts down here. Again, 10 millimeter. And if you have a ratchet style wrench, it comes in extremely handy. After this side is secure, let's hop to the driver's side. On the driver's side now, and go ahead and tighten the opposite side. Once you have that internal gasket and plate secured, guess what? Before reconnecting everything, we are going to test it. Let's hop back out to the battery, pick the battery back up and secure it. 10 millimeter nut. Hop inside, start the vehicle. Inside the vehicle now, the engine is running. The odometer is 210,647 miles. So in the event that you are replacing your shift cable and you are in that ballpark odometer wise, you're not the only one. Direct your attention up to here. The park is illuminated. That's because we are in park. Let's shift it to reverse. And back up, and now it's in reverse. Now to neutral. There's neutral. And back to reverse. Reverse, and what we'll do is we will reverse. And back to neutral and drive. It's working well. In the event that it is not working the way you want it to, I will show you how to adjust it out at the actual transmission side. Back out at the engine, disconnected the negative terminal to the battery. And down here, again, that little lever that connects to the transmission, it has a rectangular slot that this little square portion of the shift cable connection point feeds into. Now that is a rectangular slot because it allows you to shift this connection point up or down and align your shift cable properly. So in the event that you start your car and put it in reverse, however, it's not really going in reverse, and then you put it back into park and you got to really jimmy the actual shifter to put it in park, shut the engine off, come back outside, and remove this nut and shift this connection point all the way up to the top portion of this rectangular insert. From there, re-secure the nut, start the engine, and test the shifter. Once you find that sweet spot and you are satisfied, now it's time to put everything back together. Let's hop back inside the car. On the driver's side, and you've got a hole here, and you will realign this plastic part here, secure that, and from here you can carefully reposition the carpet in place. This one's kind of tricky to go under that pedal. I'll need both hands real quick. Carpet is resecured, and every paneling that covers this whole section, all those parts have to go in a specific order. I'll show you what parts next. Inside my trunk where I have all the parts and this big center portion here, we are going to realign this very carefully over that shifter and in place. And before securing that in place, during the project, as I took out each screw, I inserted it in the hole that it came out with just to stay organized so I know where the screws go in when it comes time to reinstall everything. So at this point, I'm going to remove those screws. With this piece, you may find it easier to actually start the engine and shift this shifter in a way to allow you to insert it a lot easier. Also, this e-brake is not supposed to be inside, so just make sure you don't do that. Realign the carpet down below inside the actual paneling, and what we'll do is we'll just shift this in place. And we want to align these screw holes to those holes back there. And once we do that, the lower screw holes here will align with those screw holes there. Coming to the right, just verify your carpet's resecured, and those little teeth or prongs, make sure they are aligned properly and secure them inside their little slots. Once you align and secure those prongs on each side, go ahead, grab your Phillips screwdriver and secure the actual Phillips screws. Centerpiece is all secured. Now let's re-secure the glove box. Got the glove box inside the vehicle, and early in the project we disconnected that entire plastic electrical connection point there. Just be careful as you reinsert it. Go ahead and properly align it as shown here, and then push in until you hear that clicking sound. From here, I've got a few Phillips screws that I'm going to secure this glove box in place, as well as the opposite side prong here. Those will go in their respective slots. Glove box is secured. Lower left screw and 3 inside here, as well as down below. Don't forget that one, secure that. And screw here, here, and way over there. And test your glove box. Make sure it opens and closes efficiently. From here, down to this tab here, once you focus on that little rubber tip sticking out, you want to align that properly inside that insert there and get this portion underneath and get this part re-secured until you hear the clicking sound. Then carefully reposition this and secure this in place. Next, this portion here slides right into there and realigns itself inside here until it clicks. Next, that lower plastic paneling here, secure it into the actual slots here. This side's complete. Now over to the driver's side. On the driver's side, and same thing, you've got those prongs sticking out. Align those properly in their slots and secure those. Panel is secured. Lower right hand corner, you have a Phillips screw. Go ahead and secure that. You have a screw here. Go ahead and secure the lower left hand corner. Same as the opposite side, make sure that rubber tip is aligned properly in its insert. Secure this. Carefully realign this and snap that back into place. And this part here, you've got a little hook. Not sure if I showed you on the opposite side. That goes up here. And as you secure this, make sure you hear the clicking sound. Just like that. Making progress. Let's go get the next part. Back to the trunk. Only have 3 parts remaining. That's our next part. Inside, I've actually got the panel facing the opposite direction to show us the connection points. And you've got 4 connection points. Disregard the orange one. That will come in play later on. This white tab here will connect to here. This little hole right here, that's where this white connection point with the green lens goes into. And this connection point right here will feed into this upper hole here. And these are twist-ons. Making progress. Connection points are re-secured. Again, these are twist-ons. And now we'll just reinsert this and clip it into place. And as you shift this into place, just be careful you don't want to disconnect any of those connection points as you insert it. And again, this just clips back into place around the entire radio, as well as this portion down here. Once that's secured, let's go get the next part. Down to the final 2 parts. We're going to grab the large center console now. Once you get this large center console in place, make sure you get the e-brake through there, and you can push it forward and realign these holes from here. Re-secure those 2 Phillips screws. After securing those Phillips screws, inside this compartment area, you have 2 12mm bolts. Go ahead and secure those, and reinsert your actual fabric piece, and you can go ahead and close that. Let's go grab the final part. Here is the final part, and that orange connection point that is left over, that connects to your 12 volt / 120 watt connection point here. Let's go ahead and insert this. Once that connection point is secured, carefully realign this into place, and you can see these lower teeth here will go into their respective slots. Go ahead and secure this and push in until you hear that clicking sound. This part is fully secured. I've got the cigarette lighter re-secured. And next we'll hop outside, reconnect the battery. After that, double check everything. Make sure you're not leaving any tools in the engine compartment. Do one last thorough inspection of all the connection points and shift cables, as well as where it feeds through the engine. Hop back inside and make sure everything is reconnected. From here, we'll start the engine and take it for a test drive. Inside the vehicle, I've got everything cleaned up, and as you can see, we are in the park position. Let's shift to reverse and looking good. And to neutral and to drive. Excellent. Back to the neutral and reverse and park. And the shift lever is shifting so much more efficiently and effectively. The old one was beginning to get very difficult to shift because it was all worn out. This brand new one is working well. All right, YouTubers, back from the test drive. All went well. The shift cable worked perfectly. We hope the video helped. Do us a favor, below the video, you will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely go to your settings, turn on your YouTube notification bell. Once you do that, every video that we upload, you will be notified. You will be able to stay up to date with us, and that will be awesome. Thanks again for watching, YouTubers.